Hello, beautiful souls. I am so excited. I have got a video series that I would like to share with you guys, and I'm really excited to do this. First, I have to make a little confession. I absolutely love the grungy, messy, crazy multimedia junk journals, like the super crazy messy ones. I love them. I love watching people make them. I love the way they look when they're done. Louisa Heinzel and Barbara at 49 Dragonflies and Margaret at Seven Plaza. They're some of my favorite junk journal gals to watch. I'm subscribed to them and I love watching all of their videos, and I love how crazy they get with their items. However, I feel like I don't have the capacity to do it. I know it's not true. That's just how I feel. Every time I try, my anxiety and my OCD flare up and get in the way, and I get really overwhelmed and feel like I can't do it, and I have to fix it and I have to make it look perfect, and it just is so hard for me, and I don't understand why. So I wanted to challenge myself. I want to get better at that aesthetic and get better at doing that kind of junk journaling. My junk journaling journey began because I was in therapy for my OCD and severe anxiety, and we were trying to find a way to help me see that there is beauty in imperfections. And it was a whole huge long process, but ultimately I landed on junk journaling because they are supposed to be messy and crazy, and to me, they inspire you to express your creativity without the worry about what it's going to look out like at the end. It's just simply expressing yourself. And I've come so far with it, but I still have not gotten to that point where I can be crazy and messy. So what I've decided to challenge myself, I am going to do the Dephemerember. I hope I said that right. I've practiced many times. That Louisa Heinzel and 49 Dragonflies does each year. I am going to follow that. Because this is a challenge for me, I'll probably follow a lot of their tutorials. There we go. That's the right word. Their tutorials pretty closely, because I'm trying to break out of this idea of I can't be messy. So I'll probably follow them pretty closely. I don't have all the amazing cool stuff that they have, so I'll have to make adjustments along the way. But I wanted to bring you on this journey with me. I haven't decided yet if this is a journal that I'm going to sell at the end or not, and I probably won't know until it's over. With it being a growth journey for me, I may end up keeping it, or it may be something that I want to gift or sell. We'll find out. So there's going to be a series of videos because I want to follow their why can't I say that word? Their tutorials. I will be behind. I will still need to be making my custom journals and making journals for my website, which takes up a lot of my creativity and a lot of my time. And so they probably will stretch well outside of December. But I wanted to follow this series and challenge myself. So to start that, the first thing is making a journal cover. So I love that they're doing this adorable swap. But because of how I'm challenging myself, I'm making this for myself. I really loved both of the journal covers that they have made for each other, but I decided to go with the jeans one. And it's been a process already. So I have this basket next to my washer in my laundry room downstairs that if my kids have clothes that no longer fit them but are in good condition, they wash them and then they go in this basket. Once that basket is full, it then gets donated. So I went through that basket and found a couple of pair of jeans. These are the ones that I settled on, the color that I settled on. But I found a couple of jeans and I just splashed some bleach on them, which was really fun, actually. It was really slow at first. Like, this is kind of I went over it more, but this is kind of what it started out as, these little splashes, because I was just so afraid to do it, and turned into these like nice big spills. So my first step is going to be cutting up these jeans. So this video is going to be prepping for the cover. So we're going to cut the jeans, we're going to cut our paper bag, we're going to cut our fabric for the inside and outside of the covers, which at some point you'll see a video for this that got recorded out of order. So you'll see this at some point, making this fabric. And getting all of it ready, get its stitches on there, get coloring on there, get messiness on there, get all the pieces ready, and then the next video will be putting it together, making that centerpiece on the cover and all of that fun stuff. So we are going to start with ripping up these lovely jeans into squares. Before I do that, I wanted to see, so she had a piece on her journal that had this like worn, I was going to say wear and tear and worn at the same time. It came out weird. She had this lovely worn spot that had a slit in it that showed the fabric underneath through that. These, because they were found in that basket of donated ones, are in good condition, so I don't have any wear and tear on them other than the bleach I just threw on there. So I wanted to see if I could figure out if I could make that. So I thought I would try taking some open scissors and just kind of scratching it on there and seeing what happens before I start cutting them apart. So I'm going to try that first. Let's see what happens. I don't know if that's getting anywhere. What if we tried some sandpaper? Oh, look at that. Look at this fluff. This fluffiness is coming off of here. I think that means it's working. It is working. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Oh my gosh, I think it worked. Nice. Ah, I love it. I'm going to cut away a couple of these so the hole's a little bit bigger maybe. But I think I'm going to make a couple more of these spots and then cut a bunch of squares out of here. Just random sizes, not perfect. Remind myself, don't be perfect. No perfection. Perfectly imperfect. That is my whole goal and my whole business is inspiring people to be perfectly imperfect. I can allow myself to do the same. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a few holes and I'm going to cut this into squares and then we will be back to talk about what I'm going to do next. I'll be back. Okay, so I haven't cut them up yet because I decided that I want to put some paint splatters on there to give it a little bit more color with these being gray, and my background didn't turn out quite as vibrant, so I want to add a little color. There's like all these fuzzies everywhere. So I did get a few distress spots in there. I think it's this one has more on the back here. Now I pulled out my glass mat because we are going to add some splatter. So I have this metallic purple that I bought to do some dot painting on rocks, some like dot mandalas. It's a little too bright, so I decided I'd add some gray to it. See if we can dole it out a little bit. I have no idea what I'm doing. We're just playing here. This paint is old, apparently. Let's see if we can get it to work. Come out, come out. Oh, there it is. Gross. It's so thick. Then we're going to add some water. I have a feeling I need to put an apron on. I'll be right back. I got myself an apron, so don't ruin my clothes. Alright, we're going to mix this together. Don't know how this is going to work out. Cross our fingers. Need something to tap it with. Oh, I'm anxious. Huh. I need more water. Something better to tap with. Turned more gray than I wanted it to. It's not. I look tapper. As you can tell, this is not something that I typically do. I did make some splotch cards. I have a video where I made some splotch cards that I splattered some paint on. Look at my hand. Get out of my hand. Good thing I put an apron on. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that. I wonder if that means I should be doing it like this. Just making it up as we go. It's fine. Okay, I think... Seriously, I'm covered in purple. This is giving me such bad anxiety. Oh my gosh. We got this though. We got this. It'll be cool. It'll look awesome. Should we put some blue on there too? Got a really pretty blue. Maybe I should have done that with paper because that could have been fun. You gotta do the other side, so maybe we'll do the other side with paper. Good thing my hubby's at work. He'd be like, "What are you doing?" All right. Man, look how cool that is. Piece of fodder. That just splashed my face. Which means it's probably getting all over my phone. Oh my gosh. No, I said I wanted to get messy. Alright, we got a little bit of color splashed in there. I'm going to let these dry and then cut them and see what happens. Look how fun. Wow. Wow. I'm going to clean up. Cut these pants. I'll be back. Alright, that took a minute. There was paint everywhere. Everywhere. I think I need to practice. How do we splatter paint without making a huge mess? My shirt is ruined. That's okay. It's just an undershirt. I don't mind. So I've got my pile of cut squares. I do want to stitch around them and fray the edges, but I want to see how many I want first and pick out the ones that I want first. So in order to know how many I need to make the cover. So my next step is going to be to cut the cover. So I'm take this staple out. I don't even know why there's a staple in there. I don't even know where this bag came from. I have so many weird paper things that I have kept. I don't know. Okay, so I've never actually done a cover like this. But I have watched multiple people do it, and the first thing they always do is get this off of here. Let's see if I have a tool that can help me open this. Open that so clean. Every video I watch, it just like comes open so pretty, and it just all looks nice still. Skills, man. They all got skills. That is open. Now I need to figure out what size I want it. So I do want it to be, I accidentally splashed on this piece of paper right here. So we're going to use this. I have dyed papers that I'm going to use, and I don't want to have to trim them if I don't have to. So we're going to make it, this is an 8.5 by 11, so it's a letter size. So I might need to trim a little bit there. First, let's cut off this. Let's see. I want it to be, oh, we need a spine. So let's do, I want it to have room to grow. So if we do 3-inch spine, so if we want it a 1/4 inch, this is 11, so that would give me 12. Do I have 15 inches? Goodness, let's find out. I have 16, but that means I have to keep this. It's all destroyed. Let me see if I have a bigger bag. I'll be right back. Okay, I found a bigger bag. Well, kind of. But I think that it will work a little bit better. I just ripped the handles off and opened up the bottom. I did better this time with ripping off the bottom. So I think I'm going to try to make it 14 inches. Instead of 15. Let's see where that puts us. gives us about a 2-inch spine. Let's mark where we want to cut this off up at the top here. Pencil. Found you. Let's do it here. Retract the knife. Retract. Okay. Let's see. I'm just going to mark. I want to see where my spine actually is. Well, it actually might almost be a 3-inch spine. Ooh, what's this? Alright, I'm going to glue this paper bag together. Maybe. I am ultimately going to sew it, so I'm not super worried about it, but I just want to keep it closed. Well, that wasn't square. Oh, the joys of trying things for the first time. Okay, I think that worked. So now, let's see how big we ended up. 14 by 9. Okay, so we ended up at 14 by 9. We're mostly glued shut. Okay, next I want to get my fabric to be the right size here. And I want my fabric to be a little bit bigger than the bag. I am going to try to rip this first because I'm not sure if I printed this straight. Oh, you know what? This would probably be a really good spot to put the video of how I made this fabric. This lovely fabric is made. Let's insert that video here. So we're going to go back in time a little bit to when we made this fabric, and then we'll be back. I'm going to just rip these while you're watching that. Alright, I am recording this a little bit out of order, but I have a plan. Don't know how this will fit in all together because it's being recorded weird, but hopefully it blends nicely and makes sense. So what I want to do is I want to print my own fabric. I did test this, so this is my little test piece here that I did. This is actually kind of what I'm printing. I wanted to test it out and see if it worked, and it did. So hopefully it'll work on a large scale. So what I'm trying to make is the fabric that'll go on my cover underneath the other stuff that we'll talk about. But let's see if we can get this to work. So what I'm going to do is first I need to iron the fabric onto paper so that it can be fed through my printer. Like my normal fabric ironing here, we are going to take a 11 by 17 paper because I need the fabric to be rather large to be able to cover the whole thing. And we are going to put some heat and bond. This is just heat and bond onto that paper. So the idea here is to put the fabric on the paper, print the paper, and then remove or print the design and then remove the paper from the fabric. And you end up with fabric that has been printed on. So and yes, I'm using my larger iron today because we've got larger pieces of paper. So right now I'm just attaching the heat and bond to the paper. I have to make sure that it is extremely secure for what I'm doing. Oh, my iron is not. It was blinking at me saying it wasn't on. Don't know why. Silly iron. Okay, well I am going to get the heat and bond ironed onto both papers, and then we will sew the video back down. So sweet. Okay, so I've got that ironed on. I took extra care and extra time to make sure that it was really ironed on there. Like that spot right there, isn't it? Took real extra time there. And honestly, I've got a little bit of anxiety because I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to take you on this process and it could be a complete failure. I'll post it either way because you need to know. Did it work or did it not? But hopefully it works because I've got this idea and I'd love to see it happen. Okay, so now I'm going to take this out. I've got my nice fabric side of my mat up here. I'm actually going to slice these apart first to make it a little bit easier. And I'm going to move the iron so I don't burn my hand off. Alright, iron unplugged and out of the way so that I don't burn myself, because I would. I so would. Okay, so now I am going to cut these out perfectly flush with the paper. I need to be careful not to cut the paper because I need it to be the 11 by 17 because that's what my printer can handle. I'm going to use my clear ruler. There we go. So I need it to be exactly where the paper is without cutting any of the paper off, but still getting all of that extra fabric. Sorry, you might see my head for a second. Honestly, I'm not sure if my head popped in there or not, but sorry if I sound a little weird and if you can hear me breathing. I've had a cold for the last week. I've been meaning to record this all week, but I got sick. And my nose is still a little bit stuffy. I'm feeling a lot better. My nose is still stuffy. Doesn't seem to want to let go. All right. Now, that is like perfectly smooth and straight right on the edge of the paper, which is what I want. So let me do the other one. And then I will be right back. All right, so I've got them both cut out and ready to go. This one's got a weird line going on, but since I'm doing messy, I'm not too worried about it. So I've got all the two images. So this is for the inside and the outside of my cover, which will be explained somewhere in the video. Because I'm recording this first and it doesn't really go first in the video, I'm not sure what I will have told you by now. So who knows? You might understand what's going on. You might not. You will eventually. This will be the inside and the outside of my cover. And so that's why I have two. I've got the images pulled up in Photoshop, sized and placed the way that I want, the way I want them to print out on here. So I'm going to go run them through my printer, and then I will be back and we'll take a look at how we remove the paper on the back, because you can't just pull it off. It doesn't work. We adhered it really nicely. But we'll look at that, and then we'll look at the final results and see if it worked. I'll be back. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. First, I'm going to take a second to explain my breathing for a minute. So, my office is very, very full. It's not a huge office, and it's very full of stuff. So my printer is actually downstairs on my kids' computer desk. So I have to run up and down the stairs, going from my computer to the printer to print stuff out. Well, my cold got into my lungs, and it aggravated my asthma. So I'm having a hard time breathing this last week. So it will calm eventually. I've taken care of it. Just might sound a little weird for a minute, and I apologize for that. But let's get back to this excitedness. I believe that both of these prints are Louisa Heinzel. This one is Blueberry Morning. There's a Blueberry Morning and a Blueberry Morning Abstract. This one's just the regular one. And then this one I believe is called Jelly Dot. Now both of those names are contingent on if I saved them in my computer using the correct names, which I try to do, but please don't quote me on that. I am not positive. But look at how gorgeous this is. The purple didn't show up quite as vibrant as I wanted, and as I'm looking in the camera here, it does not even show up as vibrant for you as it did for me. But on my printer, I just used the matte photo paper setting on the highest quality. And what's really cool about this fabric, so this fabric has some white lines going through it. Here we can see I've got a scrap here. So it's got these little white lines, and when it printed, it didn't print as deep, like the color isn't as vibrant on these white lines, so it left this like streak. It looks like it was kind of like scratched, which is what I was hoping for with this fabric. and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Look at these details. I love this. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. And then this is the Blueberry Morning one. I absolutely love it. Okay, so now we are going to remove the paper because we don't want that on our journal with what I'm going to be trying to do. Again, this is a whole new process for me, not something I typically do or something I'm used to, so it's going to be interesting. But so what my plan is I'm going to reheat the paper. This time I am going to go on the paper. Usually I avoid going on the paper because I don't want the paper to get burnt and crispy, but I want it to come off. So I'm actually going to iron on the actual paper and then heat it back up and then peel it off. So we're going to have to go slow. So I'll probably just do one with you here and see that it works, and then do the other one off camera so you don't have to sit there and watch that whole process. But let's try this out. Let's see what happens. All right, just making sure my iron is nice and hot. And just so you know, I just have my iron on 4, on the 4 setting. And I have no water in here because I want a dry heat when I do this kind of stuff. So I make sure I dump out all the water if I have water in there before I do this part. I'm also sitting down now in my weird slow sinking office chair. So if my voice changes, it's because I'm raising my chair back up and then it's sinking back down. So hopefully you can hear me. All right, so I'm just going to heat one little section at a time. That's nice and warm on my fingers. Woo. And then peel it away. So I'm only peeling until I feel it tug. Like you can feel that the paper is resisting, and that's where I stop. Because if I rip the paper, I'm worried that it would be harder to get it off of there, and I don't want that. So as soon as I feel that it's resisting, I stop and heat some more. It's so hard not to get impatient and just rip it. I'm such an impatient person sometimes. Oh my goodness. It totally worked. Let's iron this flat here so that it doesn't curl up on me. I pulled it off on the end there kind of quickly. How amazing is that? Oh, we just printed our own fabric. All right, let's get the other one done. That wasn't nearly as hard as I thought it would be. Look, I ripped it. Oh no. Okay. No. Okay, seriously, I jinxed myself. I said that it wasn't hard, and then that happened, and I am struggling to get this off. But in all honesty, I only need 8.5 inches, not this full 11, so I think I'm just gonna leave it and it will end up getting cut off. The bottom part will disappear. So there is our fabric. I love it. I am so happy that that worked. So we've printed our own fabric, and now we will go back to our regularly scheduled thing. I'm pretty sure this first video is just getting prepped for the cover because I'm doing a series. Yes. Yes. Okay. See you back at the regular video. Okay, I think that I can use this many squares and get it covered fully. So these are the ones that I want to do the stitching around and then fray the edges. And then these ones will be set aside for other uses. Okay, so I'm going to fray these. It's getting late and dark, so I'm going to work on fraying these and stitching them, and then I will be back tomorrow. And I want to do a little bit more. I want to add some little bit more color to this background, maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll come back and see. Let's start with this because we know that. I'll be back. All right, I am back. That took a really long time, and it's actually just a couple days later. It is a really cold and stormy day here in lovely Utah today, but I have my hot cup of tea, and I have my fuzzy warm socks on, and my lovely sweater. So let's get working on this cover. So I did get all of these stitched. So I just did the 2 lines around each one. And then the third one will be added when I sew it actually to the cover, because I like things to be in 3s. And then on some of them, I put this purple thread on here that's kind of messy, and I'm having a hard time. Embrace it. Trust the process. So I started kind of putting these on here just to make sure that it was looking good with them, and I realized that I felt like the spine was a little blank. Even with these on there, I wanted a focal point a little bit on the spine. So I kind of started messing around with some options of how I could kind of get that up. I thought maybe I could put some words on there. So I was putting some words directly on a fabric that was similar, and then I didn't really like that. So then I was like, well, what if I put something on the actual Levi jean? I don't know, is that what that fabric is? I don't know. And that didn't show up very well. So then I was messing around on some white fabric, and then I wanted a little color, so I started adding some ink on there. This one actually got dipped in the ink, like I spritzed it with water. Didn't love that either, but I think I settled on this, the white with the edges, because this is our cover, our focal point on our cover, and I think that purple matches it really well, and then it's got some bluish gray in there too. So I think I settled on that. So we are going to try to make a little square to go on the spine with that. And I was thinking maybe holding it in with some brads. I don't know. We'll see when we get to that point. All right, so first, I think the first step, my spine is going to be about 2.5 inches when all is said and done. So I'm thinking I probably don't want these down. I would rather not get ink all over them. I think I want it like cut kind of crooked and then frayed. So And we want it to be, this butterfly is 2 inches. This is the butterfly that I liked. So we want it to be cut up pretty close to the butterfly. So let's put this guy right in the center. It's just an embossing dauber. I have embossing ink pads, but I don't like the ink pads. I don't think they work very well when it comes to the embossing. And then we're gonna put some gold on there. I did try like 5 different colors, and gold is what I settled on, because I am gonna splash it with gold at the end. I've never actually done on a journal. I've never put paint splatters on the cover of a journal, so that'll be interesting. Hopefully it goes better than splattering the pants. I mean, that was an adventure that was very messy. Okay. Let's see if we heat that. Whoop. I don't know how well that worked. I wonder if I take my embossing pen and do a second layer. No idea if that's going to work, but we are going to find out. Just trying to wipe away some of this extra powder here. Well, that did add a little bit extra to it. I mean, some of it you can see the extra layer, and some of it you just can't. But it did bring that shimmery gold out a little bit more. Okay, I'm good. I'm happy with that. Just dump this back in. Yeah. Set this back over here. Alright, so let's see. What if we cut it with some scraggly scissors? Honestly, don't know if the scraggly scissors would even cut the fabric, but let's try. Let's see what happens. I'm just trying to not have it be perfect, which is why I'm cutting it with these scissors. I do want it kind of squared, but not perfectly. I don't think these scissors are meant for fabric, just, you know, putting that out there. no idea what I'm doing. By the way, I'm just messing around. I just didn't like the clean ripped look that I got when I was playing with it earlier. I wanted something messier than that, and not like a nice clean ripped edge that was frayed all perfectly. So I thought, what if I did it with some wavy scissors? What would happen? And if it looks horrible, then we can start over. Nothing is ever stuck. You can always mess with it and figure something out. Just keep going. Just keep doing weird things until you find something that you absolutely love. Okay, I think that's pretty scraggly. I definitely like that more than the clean. Where's my clean? So this one I had ripped a clean edge around it. It was a very tiny scrap that I was playing with, so it's not quite big enough, but I ripped it really clean and I didn't really love it, but I do think I like this. And then if we are putting these little guys. Ugh, I need tweezers for this, so tiny. If we put these tiny little brads in there, right on the corners. Oh, that would look cute. Maybe even ones that are a tiny bit bigger. Oh, and those ones are gold, so those actually would match better anyways. I just got these cute little tins to keep my stuff in. Eventually there'll be magnets that go on my wall. But I haven't gotten that far yet. Oh, yeah, I like that. Okay, now let's color it. We need scrap paper. Set those aside. So I've got Villainous Potion, Villainous Potion, and Stormy Sky are the two colors that I've got on here. And I just want the very edge, so I'm not going all the way in. Oh, I just spilled my tea. Whoops. Ooh, I like it. Let's take a look. Scrap paper back. let's take a look at it on the cover. Where did my cover go? I'm losing my mind. Alright, so if we have it there like that, this is going to be all scrounged up. Oh, I like that. And then with these around it, obviously it would be on the top, but I kind of want it, I think, on. Oh, I like that. Okay, so I'll stitch around this with probably a darker color, maybe the purple or maybe a black. I know the inside cover, so this one I want to do with a black because we've got some black thread going on here. In the next video, we're gonna work on kind of making this one a little bit cool as well. Like maybe embossing these with black, maybe put some pockets on it. Maybe put some fun stitching or some stamping. I'm not quite sure. I just feel like it needs something that helps it stand out a little bit. So we're going to play with that next time. This time, I think this is where we're going to stop on this one. I'll get this stitched around and maybe even stitched onto one of these. Or do I want to wait on that? I don't know. I'll think about that. And then next time we will get everything laid out. We'll play some Tetris and get all of these laid out, get them sewn on. We're going to make this next time. We're going to work on this next time and get the cover completely finished. So our next video is going to be completely finishing the cover. And then our video after that will be getting our signatures put together, picking out the paper, scrounging up the paper, and getting the signatures put into the journal. So those are the next couple videos. As always, I hope that you find some time to just unleash your creativity. Find something that sparks joy. Take a break from the everyday, mundane life that is just routine and do something just for you. Find some joy. I will see you next time, and I hope that you have a lovely day. Bye, everybody.